I'm so excited for tomorrow. It's another camping trip yet again. We're going to be testing the new front runner roof rack. We'll be renting a rooftop tent and testing out the new front runner rooftop tent with annex. It's going to be very, very, very cool. We just arrived at Karee Krans. It's a beautiful campsite. We nestled underneath a canopy of trees. It's been about a 2-hour drive from Pretoria to Karee Krans, and we've collected some rocks, and we'll show you very shortly why we're using these rocks and what it means for our camp setup. So that is why we chose those particular rocks, is so that it would help us level the Jeep. This appears to be a bit more of a level ground. It's a wonderful campsite. We've positioned the vehicle where more or less we would like it. You can see that the vehicle is on a slight incline, and those rocks that I collected earlier are going to just level the Jeep out so that when we sleep in, we're not sleeping on a slope. Let's see how it works. So earlier you would have seen me waddle along. That's because I was carrying two. I've now done it one at a time so that you don't see my waddle ever again. Set up the rooftop tent, and you're the first to see it. Let me show you. I'm super happy with the setup. The rooftop tent, it's sitting pretty high, but we've chosen a very good shady spot. Let me show you what's around the corner. Isn't this a super neat setup? I can't stop looking at it, honestly. With all the beauty around us, I'm still really over the moon about this. So this is a front runner rooftop tent, and we've also attached the annex. So there you have it. This is home for the next 2 nights. We just woke up after our first night in the rooftop tent, and Aziza is preparing a very hearty breakfast. After a wonderful night's sleep, we've packed up our campsite. We're testing a few things. We're going to embark on some of the 4x4 trails here at Karee Krans. What I'm going to do now is disconnect my sway bars, check my tire pressures, and we'll be on our way. This is apparently a level 3 obstacle, so we're walking it first. Bear in mind that the camera does not show the extent of the actual incline, gradients, and the difficulty. But we always assume that we don't have as much ability as we may have, just to ensure that we keep ourselves in check and approach everything with caution. Example of how a seemingly innocuous obstacle has claimed some pumpkin victims, as we would say. Look at some of the scrapes of the differentials here. Either vehicles with no lift, wrong lines, and that is why we walk it first. And there's my fantastic spotter. Let me take you on a walk down the rock steps we just went up now. So with the 3.25 inch lift and the 35 mud terrain tires, you won't be able to see precisely what we went up here or the specific angles. However, I took a harder line, put the vehicle in a cross axle and off camber situation, and there was enough clearance and traction. Very happy with the setup at the moment. At the top of the mountain, we found this lovely lookout point under some trees with an overhanging cliff. with views out into the distance. Currently on Route A, and this is the first level 5 section called Moedwil. It's very steep and rocky downhill with a lot of loose rocks, so we walk in it first just to ensure where are the deep ruts, where are the loose sections, and where are those very dangerous rocks. This is the bottom part of the level 5 Moedwil, and look at this, look at how steep it is. The next part, a lot of concentration required, one of the more difficult parts now. Let's see how much flex the vehicle has with the front sway bar end links disconnected. I'm really happy that I disconnected them, because I certainly, with being top heavy and having this descent, I don't want any wheels in the air. Let's see how we do. This is a level 4 obstacle, and to demonstrate why sway bar disconnects are so important, look at the flex on that. Not one wheel in the air, all wheels on the ground, maximum traction. This is the first time we've used the sway bar disconnects on a trail. I'm very chuffed about it. Look at the stunning setting. Funny enough, there's a level 3 obstacle we're going to do now, called Death Wish. It's magical here. The 4x4 route was a great experience. It was the first time we wheeled with the rooftop tent and the load above. First time we used the sway bar disconnects, and also the first time that the flat fenders were in action on the Jeep. What made the 4x4 route very enjoyable was the lower tire pressure. We actually ran it at 1 bar and it had enough traction, no wheel spin, even in very loose rocky sections. All wheels were always on the ground, even with very big ruts and cross axle articulation. We were very happy with that. There are actually 3 4x4 routes at Karee Krans. We only tackled the one route, Route A. We did not tackle Route B and C, which means we can come back here. It's such a phenomenal place. Good night at Karee Krans and look at what's on the menu for dinner. A wonderful second night's sleep. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning now. A cool breeze, and look at how beautiful this campsite is. Our short camping trip and adventure has come to an end. So let's talk about why we came here. It was to test a few things: our setup, the new rooftop tent, and to test a few modifications on the Jeep. And we learnt a lot. So the purpose of testing this weekend was to prepare for some bigger trips coming up at the end of this year and next year as well. We try to get the packing correct inside the vehicle, make sure everything runs smoothly around camp, be able to set up camp quickly, dismantle the camp quickly, go on a trail, come back, and we learnt a lot along the way. We definitely can be more efficient and quicker in setting up the camp and dismantling it, especially if we're placed at a venue where there's a campsite and 4x4 trails and where we would need to use the vehicle. So that's one of the big lessons we've learned. Overall, we're very happy with how the vehicle was packed, with all our ammo and storage boxes and the accessibility of each. We were very pleased with how we set that up. We are going to miss Karee Krans. It's hard to imagine that such a stunning place with so much to do is only 2 hours away from either Joburg or Pretoria.